Our mass retail program, like everything in the last 3 years, was seriously affected by the economy. Up till 2009, Lionel was sort of a bulletproof mass market product, and what mass market cares about is sell-through. No one wants that product left over. And our programs for 4 straight years, four straight years, were sellouts, which makes us very popular with all major retailers. 2009, we had probably our biggest program, which was with Walmart, and that program was not as successful as we wanted it to be. Everything else we did that year was, but the Walmart program for some reason didn't work. It didn't work well enough for us or for them, and that kind of set us back. This year, 2011, we're at pre-2009 levels, meaning we're right back up there with some very big sales in major players from Target to JCPenney to Lowe's. We have a new low-end set in Lowe's that I think is a test, but I think it portends tremendous things for the future. So our mass market retail program is very much alive and well. The problem there is mass market retailers are really working out of a different playbook than they were pre-2009. They don't want to take the inventories that they were taking then because the economic downturn has hurt them dramatically. So while that is an important program to us, I don't think it's going to be a huge breakout program where we're doing half of our business in mass retail. Our pop-up stores were never intended as a competition to that or a desire on our part to go into the retailing of trains. It really has to do with my own sort of obstinate view that Lionel is a boy's version of American Girl, which is a company that I really, really admire. It's about smart play. It's about history. It's about interaction between mothers and daughters. It's about great, cool product. It to me is a mirror image of a male version of American Girl, and so that's what I think we are. And the pop-up stores were my attempt to really do a proof of concept that if we set up a Lionel Adventure store, not a Lionel Classic Trains hobby store, but a Lionel Adventure store, could that be a format in the future that could lead to a whole different business for us that is meant for young boys and their fathers or young boys and their parents in the same way that American Girl is? And so we did 5 pop-up stores last year, and 4 of them were dramatically successful. And one of them especially so, the one here in the city. We did an astonishing dollar volume in 6 weeks in that store. The only one that wasn't dramatically successful was in Mall of America. They got hit with snow for like 40 straight days. I'm not sure anybody could get out of the mall, let alone into it. But the other 4 stores were really good. The one in the city was spectacular. We did not do them this year because I just didn't believe we were going to prove the concept any more than we'd done when I met you guys down at Radio City. That store in 2009 was dramatically successful. We did 5 of them last year, as I said. I think we proved the concept that a stand-on-its-own Lionel store works. The next stage would be to find a partner that wants to go into the Lionel Adventure business that is the true manifestation of our desire to reach kids and families as a sort of precursor to their involvement in the hobby, in the same way that American Girl is. So for us, it made more sense to focus on our online business this year because that's growing dramatically, as opposed to trying to prove the concept for the 3rd straight year. So that's why we did not do pop-up stores this year. I was up in Boston 3 weeks ago at Charlie Rowe's open house, and it astonishes me because that day Charlie will get a couple of thousand people and half of them are little kids. Now they're little kids brought by their parents, but they're little kids that want to be there and they're having a great time, and he's got a huge layout upstairs they play with. And I have other retailers that will tell me with sincere conviction that the hobby's not for kids, and I gently suggest to them maybe their stores aren't for kids. That Charlie's store is for kids and families, and he does incredibly well. I could name 4 or 5 other stores that I go into that look like it's a great place to take your kid on a rainy Saturday and hang out and play. I think a lot of it is a self-fulfilling prophecy, like I talked about with American Flyer. So building on that, looking at the core hobby and seeing such beautiful layouts that people have either in their homes or in their clubs, and knowing that is kind of out of the reach of 90% of humankind, Okay, so in order to try and expand the aperture through which the world can see us and we can see them, I'm kind of heartened by what's going on with modular activity. Anybody can do a 4x4 section. It can be a scout troop project. It can be something you do with your kid. It can be something where you execute your desire to do the Patterson Falls, right? And you team up with 4 other people that are going to do something else. You put them all together and you have something. Now this has been ongoing, and there's obviously a growing movement, but just anecdotally, I have a weekend house in Litchfield County, Connecticut, which is out in the mountains and it's very rural. And the nearest city called Torrington, somebody cut out something from the paper and said that there was a train meet of the Torrington High Rail Society or Club, and it was a modular activity. Now they were doing HO, but the point is that they expected I don't know how many hundred people to show up with their sections, and they were going to put it together and run it. That is very exciting, because that is a way in to something that has a very high barrier to entry. You've got to have the space, you have to have the money, you have to have the time, you have to have the know-how. But 500 people doing segments that they all get together as an activity, as an event, maybe a themed event done between Lionel and the LCCA. That's exciting stuff, because now you're giving a kid a chance not just to play with a starter set, but to see the magic of a major built-out display and to actually participate in it, even for their little piece of it, and hopefully get them to want to continue. So we're very heartened by that. We're going to pursue that very actively this year. I see a potential online component to that, where people can actually do that virtually, and sort of tie the whole thing together, as you were saying before, in ways that people are used to playing. They're used to playing online. They're used to, you know, expressing themselves virtually. I think you could do that with a whole modular program, and it's up to us to be smart enough to come up with compelling events and programs and to partner with you guys to figure out how we do that. But that's one of the major challenges of this year, and it's one of the major commitments we have to what we're going to do.